Welcome to the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, episode number 12. First, think. Second, believe. Third, dream. And finally, dare. Walt Disney.
Broadcasting from the back alley in Hollywood, it's the Indie Film Hustle Podcast, where we show you how to survive and thrive as an indie filmmaker in the jungles of the film biz. And here's your host, Alex Ferrari.
Welcome, guys, to another episode of the Indie Film Hustle Podcast. I'm really grateful for you guys tuning in. We're doing something new this week, and I'm hopefully going to try to make it into something more regular. I'm going to try to do 2 episodes a week. I'm going to be doing one episode that will be me talking about different topics and giving you guys tips, as well as another episode which will be interview based with some industry leaders and giving you more content that way. So this is the first episode of that new paradigm. Let's see how long I can keep it up. It's a lot of work doing Indie Film Hustle and creating all this great content for you guys week in and week out. So if you can, to help a little bit with that, if you can head on over to freefilmbook.com. That's freefilmbook.com. And you can sign up to get yourself a free audiobook from audible.com. They are awesome, and you can download from over 40,000 different audiobooks. I like the film books, like I always say, but there's a ton of great self-help books, fiction, and so on. So head on over to that. That really helps support the show. So I appreciate that. So this week's, I'm going to talk about something that's kind of been dear to my heart for a long time. It's one of the core pillars of what Indie Film Hustle is about. Indie Film Hustle is about giving you guys the tools to survive and thrive in the film business. One of the big misconceptions about making a movie is that it's only art. And there's a reason why it's called show business. It's a business too. And there's a reason why there's double the letters in the word business than there is show, because it's twice as important as the show. Because without the business, there is no show, and without the show, there is no business. But the business side of it is what allows us to continue the show to go on and continue to make more shows and so on and so forth. So I want you guys to change your mindset a little bit and start thinking about film and your projects as product. And that's a very, very key point to make, because you have to think about your film as product, how you can monetize it, how you can sell it, how you can continue to make a living doing what you love. First step is create and understand that your film is your product. When Coca-Cola is going to release a new flavor, they don't just throw it out in the marketplace and wish for the best. That's what most filmmakers do. They raise the money, they've put the money out of their pocket, they put it on credit cards. They have no idea where the movie is going to go, how it's going to be sold, what's going to be sold, if it's going to be sold overseas, if it's going to be sold online, if it's going to be sold to a distributor, if it's going to get into a film festival, if it's not, who's going to watch. They don't even know who their audience is most of the time. They just make the movie because it's like, I got to make my movie. And that's great. And you need that energy to be able to make your movie, but you need to know how to sell that movie. You need to know how to be able to make a living doing this. So by thinking of your film as a product, like Coca-Cola would do with a new product line, they do market research. So when you have an idea for a movie, or you have a script that you're thinking about making into a movie, do product research. Talk to your friends, talk to people on Facebook, on Twitter, on message boards. Just go to where the topic of your movie is about and figure out if this is a movie that's going to be even sold, if people are even interested in watching this or even buying this. So you have to do some market research on your product before you release it. This is product release 101. Once you find out if the product is a viable product, then you have to go and find where your audience is. So then go and find where your audience is. So like if you're making a movie about a romantic comedy about a vegan chef, he just happens to be a main character. The whole thing's not about being a vegan chef, but he's a main character in it, let's say, or she's a main character in it. And now your audience is not only for rom-coms, but if you're smart, you can go after the vegan movement, the vegetarian movement, the organic movement, the gourmet food movement, the chef crowd, the foodie crowd. There's so many other avenues of places and customers that you can look for your film. Now, I'm talking about this in the assumption that you're going to try to sell your own film. If you're going to try to sell to a distributor or things like that, this is also very important. But I'm coming at it from, because if you're going to go sell to a distributor and you don't know if this is going to be a viable product, more than likely it's not. So I've had a lot of films that I've worked on that didn't have a star in it, and they just kind of put it out there, and the distributor's like, well, this is not a viable product. I can't sell it. It's not in a genre. It's not this. It's not that. It's a drama with no stars in it. It has very few awards. It really doesn't matter, even if you won Sundance, that you're not going to be able to sell this. So I'm coming at it from a point of view of you're going to sell your own product. So you go to where the audience is and you start marketing to that audience about what your product is. So if you're making a movie, I would start marketing the movie in the pre-production stages. Start getting people excited about it. Start putting out a poster, putting out obviously the website's most important part. And on the side note, guys, I'm gonna come out with a lot more information about this. I'm kind of just going over it right now, but I'm going to be coming out with a lot more information about how to market your film, how to create a brand about your film, and things like that. And I'm actually thinking about creating a course specifically about an online course where people can, I can, show people how to create a brand, how to sell it, how to product launch your film, how to gain a social media following, how to build that audience, how to sell to that audience, how to package your film, how to package your brand, and so on. So if you guys are interested in that, please give me a shout out. I'm going to do some market research right now. I'm doing this on the fly. Hit me up on my email or my Twitter or my Facebook or my Instagram or wherever, and hit me back and say, hey, I would love to buy that product, and I would really be interested in that product. I'm thinking about putting it together. It's something that some people talk to me about and say, you really should put something like this together. I'm still thinking about it. So, because it's going to be a tremendous amount of work. Anything I do, I'm going to do 110%. Video, audio, worksheets, workbook, ebooks, the whole ball of wax. So, let me know if you guys are interested in that. So, so that was just on the side note. Sorry to go on a tangent there. But so, find out where your audience is. Go market to that audience. Then start building up hype about the production while you're you're shooting it, while you're in post, and then start talking about the product launch, which will be, if you're self-distributing it, I would stay away from doing a DVD or Blu-ray alone. But if you're going to self-distribute it through VHX or Gumroad or Vimeo Pro or any of these places, start hyping it. Start hyping up the release date and all that stuff, and then start looking about how to package that movie, because the movie itself, in many ways, is just advertising for a larger product line. Let's all take a note from George Lucas. Star Wars made money, but where he really made money was his other ancillary products, whether that be the lunchboxes and so on. I'm not saying that you guys got to make lunchboxes if you're an independent film, but if you create enough hype around it, depending on what kind of movie it is, what kind of genre it is, who's the stars in it, if there are any stars in it, you can create T-shirts, hats, and package them all together to make your, let's say, a normal $10 sale turn into a $100 sale, because someone who's really excited about who's in your movie, what your movie's about, if they've been invested through this entire process, they will pony up $100. A lot of movies have been doing this kind of marketing plan, and it's worked great, because instead of having to have 10 people buy 10 movies, you need one person to buy one package. T-shirts, hats, behind the scenes, how-tos, soundtracks, autographed posters, all sorts of different things to give your audience what they want, because they want to buy this. So that is one way of going about treating your movie like a product. And I'll give you more tips coming up in further shows, but I really just wanted to kind of go over and start the conversation about treating your film like a product. And a lot of people don't talk about it like this. It's also an artistic, this is an artistic medium, but you know what? The people who survive in this business, and I keep saying business because it is a business, people who survive being a filmmaker in this business all understand the business side of it. Every single big movie director that you've ever admired understood the business. Even the most art house directors understood the business. Woody Allen's been making his movies for the last 30 years now, 40 years. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsor. And now back to the show. He keeps them under a certain budget. He attracts very amazing cast, and he does his movies the way he wants to do them. But he understands that the business is that. I mean, he couldn't make a movie for $100 million. A Woody Allen movie cannot be budgeted at $100 million. It'd be very difficult to make that money back. But at a $5 million movie, he could. And he did that over time. He built that up over time. He has a huge following of people who will just show up to a Woody Allen movie because Woody Allen made it. And so a lot of other filmmakers as well, especially in the indie world, like Mark Duplass from the Mumblecore crew, and a lot of other filmmakers who keep their budgets low and they just keep selling to their audience because the audience loves them. This happens. This is the same thing that goes with indie rock bands, indie music people, that they just have a following and that following pays them and they love it's a wonderful exchange. I'll make art for you. You pay for my art so I can continue to make art for you, and so on and so forth. This is the way it should be. So I hope this episode was helpful to you guys. I'm going to be doing more of these kind of episodes, kind of talking about certain topics that I feel passionate about, and hopefully give you guys great content by doing that. So please hit me up in the comments of the show notes and let me know what you think. Also, let me know what you think about that idea about creating a product line based about how to market not only your film, yourself as a filmmaker, maybe your company as a brand, all sorts of different avenues that I'm going to be going down in that course. But I want to see if you guys are even interested in me talking about it or doing the course. So please hit me up. Thank you so much for all your support. Please don't forget to head over to the iTunes store and give me an honest review. It really helps out the show a lot, getting higher ranking, and more people can actually enjoy the Indie Film Hustle tribe, as you will. So thanks again so much, guys. Keep hustling. Keep making your movies. Don't forget that your movie is your product that you need to sell to keep doing more movies. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks.
Thanks for listening to the Indie Film Hustle podcast at indiefilmhustle.com. That's INDIEFILMHUSTLE.com.